Hello everybody, how is it going? So today we are playing more Yamato, but we are playing the 8 cost kid, more green heavy version with supernovas and what's it called? Don Quixote pirates. Yeah, this deck is basically just a green deck outside of I think it's like 4 of the new Nami, the Thunderbolt Nami, and honestly, the list kind of feels like a Corazon list, except your leader just has double attack. So that's pretty cool. the deck is pretty fun. I think I prefer this version to the Sky Island version, just because I think I like green cards and I like 8-drop kid. So yeah, I think the deck functions pretty well, honestly. Also, that was definitely a misplay. I kind of just forgot Perona just taps anything for lower. My bad. But on my turn 1, she ends up taking, or my turn 2, she takes the double attack, and then her following turn plays Borsalino. And my Monet just got extra this turn, so I mean, it's all good. I think last turn I should have just swung big again and forced the Borsalino, and that's just what I end up doing here, because I'm like, I should have done this last turn. Let me just do it this turn. Yeah. The hope I'm playing Monet was that I just block and tap the Borsalino. But yeah, Perona just says no to that, so you'll have to forgive me for that play. But he does, use the Borsalino and gets down a Rosinante this turn, which is pretty good. Having small blockers feel good into Yamato because you're not committing much. Borsalino feels a little bit bad because it's a 4-drop. But I do drop to 0 life here because I'm just gonna 8-drop kid. I don't know. I don't know what's more annoying to play against, the 8-drop kid version or what's it called, the yellow version. There's definitely a lot less triggers in this one. Like, you still have like Punk Gibson. I am playing the Onamis. The 0 cost event has a trigger, and I think that's really it. It's just kind of like some pretty normal green triggers. Also, Rosinante is completely busted in this scenario because it doesn't matter if he taps it. I can still just use the prevent KO effect. So yeah, Rosinante is too good in this scenario, too good. You know what else feels really good in this deck? Playing a Hody and being protected by an 8-drop kid. That's a great feeling, honestly, because Hody is nuts, and you basically just don't have to worry about the whole taking a life thing because kid is just protecting you. He's the boy. But he spends a lot of cards to try to KO the kid, and then, it just gets met with the Rosinante effect. Maybe he just wanted to get it out of the way, and I mean, he did end up, he has 2 6k bodies now. Not really the best in the kid, though, because it's still 2 Dawn for each of them to swing into it, but yeah, I'm pretty sure this turn we're just gonna take the Hody. It's like a little bit awkward because I definitely want to get the Rosinante down. I was a bit indecisive on what I wanted to do here, because I wanted to play Hody and I wanted to swing 8 with leader, and then I'm like, I don't know, because I probably need a blocker for this kid. So I think what I end up doing is I play Hody, tap Kuzan in the blocker, and I think I swing 8 or 7. I should have swung 8 if I'm only swinging 7 here, because I think I wanted to save one for the. All right, here's what happened. I saw the killer in my hand, and I'm like, yeah, I'll get down the killer in case he counters out of this by just using kid effect. And yeah, and then I remembered, oh, I should probably just play another Corazon. I do pivot to trying to get rid of the Kuzan, but Rosinante being broken does just protect it. But there's no reason for that swing to go into life because that would just turn off my leader ability. And why would I want to do that? So yeah, we're going to use 8 kid to cheat out the Rosinante. And we'll play the baby 5. We don't really need to, but I guess it saves us a Dawn next turn if that's what we want to do. And we're in a pretty good spot, He can still try to KO it. We have the Rosinante, and we have a good amount of counter power if he tries to swing into it after trying to KO it. So I mean, we're looking good. I think the big equalizer in this matchup for Perona is 10-drop Dofi, and I don't think they saw it this game, so that's pretty rough. Yeah, because that obviously would have slowed me down another turn. Kind of put me on even having my own, I do have my own, but the turn they would 10 drop, they're not going to swing with anything because it's just 8 drop kid. To be fair, they don't get many resources from me, but also I don't get to take any resources from them on the crackback, and they get, you know, a 10k body to try to beat over kid. So yeah, it's pretty good. He's going to tap the Rosinante, and then, you know, obviously just swing 5 with the Kuzan into the kid. Again, if he has another KO effect, it doesn't matter. We just protect it with Rosinante. But he actually plays 8-drop Gecko, and I think he just brings out a Porcelino, which, yeah, I mean, it's fine, but, like, it's still not really what he was looking for here. I think he definitely just, I think he needed to see 10-drop in this spot, or he was kind of just doomed. He can swing 8 at my kid with one of the X-Drakes, which is fine. Also cheats out a Rosinante, which, you know, he might be rested, but still can defend the character. And then just swings 8 at my kid. I get rid of the killer because I'm like, honestly, this card doesn't do much into a leader that can always just tap a 4 or less. But I have the Ezo, and I'm like, alright, I can just go for it. He has 2 cards in hand, so 9 is guaranteed. And then we have a 8k swing along with a 13k swing using leader. We'll just start with the 13 because I kind of doubt he has it. He couldn't even have it. This is just exact game, because if he had 4 2ks, he'd get up to 13 exactly. So yeah, we get that pretty handedly. Now moving on, we're against a Katakuri. I think this matchup is kind of scary. I think with 8-drop kid, it feels a little bit less scary, but just, you know, giving them like 2 triggers on this turn is like really bad. I think he gets 1, and thankfully didn't get another one, but yeah, it's a little bit scary. Yeah, sure, there's a lot of pressure on life, but, you know, you are a 4-life leader, and yeah, you don't want to just randomly die because they were playing like 2 characters a turn, and then their board is huge, and you're just like, oh, I'm dead. But swings 5, I counter because, again, triggers are scary in this matchup, and I don't want to get too messed up by that. And I take the 7k hit, find a baby 5. I don't really got much to do this turn, so I'm just going to play the baby 5 and then just swing 8. We find a Monet, which is really solid. And then we're just going to attack for 8. I thought about swinging into the... Oh my goodness. Satori. There we go. He came to me. Satori the Bubble Man. I thought about swinging into him, but I was like, nah. I'll be fine. I'll just swing at life. And thankfully, no triggers. If I was doing that on my next turn, I think I would have felt a lot more safe, because I know the following turn I'm just going to 8-drop kid. But this turn is a little bit scary. I could be put to like 0 if he just committed to attacking with everything. And then I'd need to live a whole turn or just try to go for game. So yeah, that might have been the play for his part, of just trying to put me down to, you know, 1 or 0. And then just making me try to go for game, which I wouldn't even be able to do. Maybe with the Hody, if he just had like absolutely no counter. But he's attacking for 6s, which is, I have 2 2Ks, and I'm just going to take them. Because, yeah, it feels a bit bad dropping a lot of counter, but honestly, yellow still really doesn't have great answers to blockers. So unless he has 8-drop Katakuri, my 8-drop should be pretty safe. And he does use Onami to banish his life, which, I mean, yeah, it's pretty good, but, you know, whatever. So it's not that bad. It's not that bad. This turn, we could Hody, but I don't want to die, so I'm not going to Hody. We just baby 5, find a Rosinante, and then I think I'm just going to swing a whole bunch. Okay, no, I'm going to play both blockers this turn. I'm walling up. I'm scared. I'm fearful. So yeah, we'll just swing 6, just get a 2k out of his hand, which sounds pretty good. And he does counter with 2 1ks. Okay, so he probably doesn't have a 2k, so that's pretty good. We'll play both our blockers. Again, yellow really usually doesn't have great answers to them. And then we'll just take the rest of our life this turn and play 8-drop kit. The classic green strategy. Never fails. Except it usually does with all the removal. But I think Yamato just being fast enough into these more controlled decks, I feel like it works more often than it normally would, you know? I think it's more just like, it's annoying, because like, that playstyle of Yamato kind of puts you on, I need to fight back with my board, and then the one turn they 8-drop, you're like, oh, well now I need to answer this, and then I probably can't kill them, and then they might be able to kill me. So, yeah. And also, usually if the 8-drop kid just sticks a turn, it's probably just game. So, yeah. 8-drop kid, really good. We do take all our life. We trash even off the Big Mom, which is a bit scary to do. I maybe could have given him a life because he has 1 right now. I think that was probably the better play. But, man, whatever. We would have ended up taking that life with Hody. To be fair, it'd be in our hand, but it's fine. It's fine. It's all good. We just swing 6, knowing that he didn't have a 2K last turn, but he did draw into a 2K. So there is that. We're going to kid effect. Not going to play out anything. Bonnie is one of the few actual counter cards I have in my hand. So, yeah, I don't cheat her out or anything like that. And then this turn, I kind of put him on. Alright, if you 10-mom, you probably just die, and you can try to swing in the kid, but my whole hand could be counter. So he does play 10-mom, and I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure I can just kill him now. I'm gonna swing for 8s because he used the Veggie last turn. I assume he probably didn't find another 2K. So yeah, 8 sounds like a good number because he'd need 2 2Ks, and I knew he at most probably had 1. So yeah, sounded good. He ends up taking, doesn't get a trigger. And then I think for a second here, because I'm like, is there any reality where he could get out of this? And no, he just scoops it up. And we move on to, I believe this is our final game against Gecko, another very popular leader in this set. Yamato is definitely growing on me. I'm not going to lie. I'm definitely planning on playing Reiju mostly, but this more like mono green style of Yamato is really fun to me. I just kind of, it just functions really well because your early game, you're just gonna play little blockers and then swing with the rest of your leader, and yeah, and then like your late game just is nice. You know, you have a bunch of good low cost blockers to play off Kid and Monet, Killer, and Corazon, and Hody works super well with Kid. Your mid game, you don't really have much. It's not like this Sky Island build where you have Ohm, Holy, you know, Gidatsu. You aren't also playing, what's it called? Amaru. But I think this deck can, like once you get 8 Kid down, you're, like, pretty stable. Because, again, if it survives a turn, usually you just win the game. Because you're able to, like, for 2 turns, you aren't under any pressure. And you get to just play more top end in the Hody or the 10-drop Dofi. So, yeah, I really do enjoy how this deck plays. He gets down to Sabo, which is pretty good. I don't got much to do. I'll probably play out the Monet. I feel like I just shouldn't be playing out the Monets. Because I do believe it gets answered by something. But, you know, whatever. It's not like he can, what's it called? Absolom it for free. So, it's like still a little bit of a commitment for him to spend like a reduction event, or I don't know what else he could play, maybe just hard play Hina or something. But yeah, it didn't feel the worst. I mean, I'm also still at full life right now, which is pretty good, and I'm going into my Kid turn next turn, so I'm kind of trying to take some life this turn. It's alright if I don't take all of it, because again, Hody kind of acts as like a way to cash out your life. It's kind of like, you know, when you play 8-drop Kid and then you still have 2 life is like Corazon. You just block and you get the, obviously, it's a bit stronger than Hody. Maybe? Is it? I don't know. Hody's really good. But, I don't know. Using a Corazon leader to block 8 Kid feels really good. But he's going to swing 6 and 5. I just take Bolt because I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to take all my life unless he swings with like Sabo, and then I can Hody on another turn. But it's all good. We have one thing we're doing this turn. I swing 5 for the sake of swinging 5. I know he has the Sabo, but, you know, maybe he just forgets, you know, never know. We just cheat out a Killer and give the rest of Dawn to 8 Kid. He could Absolom the Killer, but that's still... How much does he have? Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He has 9. Yeah, obviously. He could spend 7 of the Dawns swinging at Kid, and that would be 12. So I'd need 2 2Ks and a 1K, but then he'd also need to Absolom the Killer. To be fair, in my current hand, if he made that call and just swung 12 and then cheated out a Absalom with leader effect, I was probably in a really bad spot, but I don't think he has an Absalom engraved. I think I check it at some point, so maybe he just didn't want to gamble for the hit off the mill 2. So yeah, I'll take it because I didn't die or anything like that, but yeah. Yeah, checking his grave. Oh, he does have an Absalom. So he could have gone for that play, but it's risky. You know, I have 6 cards in hand. What's the likelihood of me not being able to counter 5k? So, I mean, fair enough. But obviously, from our perspective, we know we couldn't. But he ends up going with playing Rebecca, adding back Kuzan, then playing Kuzan, I think. Which feels pretty bad for, you know, him, I would think. Especially because we're just going to have Hody next turn, and we're just going to rest that Kuzan and the Rebecca probably, just because we'd rather trade with the Sabo blocker if he wants to defend this Kuzan. And yeah, our 8 kid is probably just safe again. So yeah, we'll get a Punk Gibson off life. Probably want to leave that up this turn because it'll be good into the Rebecca again to kind of just prevent it from getting any value. So yeah, but swinging Hody at the Kuzan. He can block with Sabo, but then he needs to drop 2 cards. And I still have Kid swing, I still have Leader swing. So that Kuzan is almost definitely dead. So letting it go, I think, is the right call. Thinking about if I want to save a 3rd Dawn for this killer. Because obviously my Leader effect will cover the Kid. But I'm like, nah, let's not. Because if not, I just give him a free block. Which, I mean, he might not have taken because I still haven't swung with the Kid, and maybe he wanted to keep the Sabo, so yeah. But he will counter out of the 6k for my leader, and then take the 8k swing or 10k swing from Kid. I'm fine with giving him like the 1 life because it still keeps him on even life, which is what I want because we have double attack. And then next turn we can just do it again with the other Hody in hand. We have Punk Gibson, which will let us tap the Rebecca as long as he swings this turn. He might not, but it doesn't matter, because even then we'll just have Hody to tap the Rebecca and the Sabo. Unless he plays another blocker, which I guess it gets a bit more complicated at that point, but if he did that, we'll probably just start going for board and leave another Punk Gibson up, so that's at least the plan for now. But I don't think he plays this one out. I think he just ends up scooping. It might take a little bit. Yeah, I think it does. I'll talk to you guys once we get there. And yep, just ends up disconnecting. Fair enough. I think we were in a very advantageous spot. We had another Hody for next turn. We might have been able to go for game. If not, put him to 0, and then it gets very hard from there, as we still would have kept our 8-drop Kid if he didn't have an answer. And assuming him scooping, he probably didn't have an answer for the 8-drop Kid. So yeah, I think we were definitely winning that game. But yeah, that's been Yamato with basically Mono Green Yamato. Again, minus the Onamis. I mean, the card is just a little bit too good, right? I mean, come on. But yeah, the deck is really fun. I think I just enjoy playing this version more. I don't know what's definitively better, but I like 8-drop Kid, so yeah. Anyways, yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.